I'm Michelle Minnick. Samantha Ward.
I'm Dylan Wild. I'm Logan Jones.
Matthew Aaron.
And really quick before we get started, we are going to go ahead and share some different swag items that you're going to be able to, I guess, get to see at convention this year. So we're just going to give you like a quick sneak peek or preview of that. So
Yeah, we got some awesome things, and we were really lucky to get to sneak peek just a few of them. So first, we have some awesome athletic wear.
Ooh.
It does this cool crisscross thingy, which obviously in my hands doesn't look that great, but on you, you're gonna love it. It's that athletic material. But I'm more excited about this awesome bag. Kind of cool. It's like big enough to fit all your goodies, your laptop, sunscreen, water, Plexus products, Joyome, all that great stuff in here. Not to mention some great colors.
Hey guys, how's it going? Sorry I'm kind of late. I got that awesome backpack that we're not allowed to show off yet. I mean, this thing's pretty much prime for all backpack needs. It's pretty amazing on the. Yeah, what's
Done.
Oh, I didn't even realize we were on a Zoom call right now. Crazy. We're not allowed to be showing this one off, but this backpack's going to be ridiculous. I'm super pumped for it. I know everyone's going to love one of these.
all right, got to have love and a little bit of fun with it before we get started on the call. So anyways, glad, and it's perfect timing too because we're allowing more participants to hop on. But anyways, like we said earlier, we're joined with our recent Silver Star winners, Jordan Roddenberry, Emily Burgess, and Cassandra Roberts. And they're going to, I won't speak for too long. We're going to let them each share a little bit about themselves and a little bit about how they were able to earn this trip. But just one thing to also keep in mind too is all three of these ladies have had a ton of momentum in their business in like the last 6 months especially, but really the last three. I know they've all recently rank advanced. They're all Senior Ruby ambassadors, and they're killing it this summer. So to see them having a ton of success before all these exciting things came out like Joyome is just super, super cool because I know that they're in for a really awesome summer now. So without further ado, we're just going to have them each introduce themselves. And I guess we're going to start with Jordan because she's at least on my screen in the top left, and we'll go to Emily and Cassandra. So take it away, Jordan.
Yeah. Hi. Well, I'm Jordan. I'm from Tennessee. And like you said, I'm Senior Ruby. So excited about it. So my story is a little bit different, and I'm going to give you like the Reader's Digest version. And I'm only going to talk about the business part. My health journey is a whole different thing. So mine is a little bit different than some. I actually, I started with Plexus about 2.5 years ago, but I didn't actually, they said there's no sound. Can y'all hear me? Okay. So I didn't actually start sharing about the business well when I started. Okay. So when I started like Plexus, I started for my health, and then I just saw people copy and pasting posts on their Facebook wall. So that's what I did. And I failed, and it was awful. And I have a sales major from college, and I was like, okay, I got this. And it was bad. So I didn't want to add to my resume, failed at network marketing. So I just quit. I stopped doing it. And for about a year, I quit. Just did my products, didn't post about it. Well, timing is everything, you guys, because I had my second baby in May. And everything changed. I had a whole summer with both my kids and my husband. He's a teacher. And I was like, I don't want to go back. So I found Tara Castaneda's YouTube channel, and I found Jessica's, and I found Tamara Holloway's, Jessica Heffley's. I watched all of their videos probably within a week, and I just dove in. I don't even think I slept. And I just dove into training because I needed this, and I didn't want to fail. And so anyway, I went silver the first month I started. I had my first Facebook event. I went silver, and a couple months later, I went gold. A couple months later, I went senior gold. And then I went ruby, I think in maybe 4 months. And then my journey from ruby to senior ruby was a 1 month quick turnaround. So 10 months to senior ruby, it was really fast, but I learned so much. And so anyway, that's a little bit about me. If y'all have questions, feel free to ask. But
you ready for me? Awesome. My name is Emily Briss, and I am from Boise, Idaho. Michelle, it's so good to see you again. Saw you last week in Boise. So nice to meet you. So I'm going to share a little bit of my story just in hopes that it will encourage those of you that have people saying no to you. So I went to college with Tamara Holloway, and about 4 or 5 years ago, she was the very first to message me and ask me to try this pink drink that she had. She actually didn't even ask. She just said, give me your address. I'm going to send you some samples of this product that's helping me lose some baby weight. So immediately I was like, what in the heck has my friend gotten into? She is crazy. And so, but I'm nice. And so I said, okay, here's my address. So she sent me these samples, and I literally just threw them in the trash. I was not about to put something into my system that I was sure of that was going to hurt her or like kill her in 2 weeks. So I love you, Tamara, but I don't want to have anything to do with that. So I just watched. I watched, and I thought all these people were crazy, but I also had like birthed 2 babies. And so my body was not looking the way that it once had. So I think I like watched my friends with the jealous eye. We couldn't afford the products. I didn't want to become a crazy Plexus person. And my friends were losing weight, and I was just sitting on my couch eating peanut butter and chocolate chips and feeling sorry for myself. So about a year and a half ago, I got in touch with Tamara. However, I want to tell you, though, this is really important. Tamara built a lot of belief in me over 3.5, 4.5 years, telling me that she really thought that I could do a business well with Plexus. I wasn't in a place to listen. I didn't care. I didn't want to do Plexus, but I still heard her confidence in me. And I had multiple other people messaging me, telling me that they thought that I would do good with the business. So keep that in mind when you're approaching people, to bring out the good in them, because they're hearing it. Even if they say no, they're hearing that, and that's going into their mind, thinking one day they could do this business really well. So a year and a half ago, I finally got in touch with Tamara, and she sent me 2 months worth of the triplex because she knew that I wasn't going to buy it. Even with the 60-day money back guarantee, I was not going to spend our money on something that I was kind of against forever. So I tried the products, and I really, really liked them. I liked how I felt, but now I came to this crossroad of, what am I going to do? Am I going to become one of these obnoxious, crazy Plexus people that I've kind of not really cared for, that I've unfollowed, or am I going to go back to the way and feel that I felt the way that I used to feel? That didn't make sense, but you know what I'm saying. So my husband and I prayed a lot, and we wrote a pro and con list. It was not a flippant decision at all. We spent a lot of time talking through the pros and cons, and we spent a lot of time dreaming, because I knew a lot of close friends who had done the business and had done it very, very well. And I knew, living in Boise, Idaho, there's hardly anyone here talking about Plexus. I knew that the products were changing so many people's lives. So I knew if I was going to do it, I was going to go all in. So in January of 2017, I very nervously made my first post. I wanted to vomit. I still kind of want to vomit, because it's a scary thing, right? You have to be brave. You're putting yourself out there for all these people and their opinions. So that was in January of 2017. And my journey has been a little bit slower. I am a senior Ruby, but for the first year, and I'm sure we can talk about this in a minute, but for the first year, I did not really have a single runner. So I got myself to senior gold and close to Ruby basically by myself. And it was really, really hard. But the moment it happened fast, and it has been growing like crazy. And I just wanted to tell you one little quick thing. I looked back on my stats this afternoon. In December of 2017, I had 7 silvers. Only one of them was active. So I'm telling you, I had no runners. 1 active silver. Here we are in May, and I have now 1 senior gold, Hannah Richardson. I have 2 golds. I've got Mallory Morgan Henderson, and I've got Jamie Lasher, and then I've got 17 silvers now. So that's a pretty nice bit of momentum, right? From everybody not doing the business to all of a sudden people are doing it. So that's a little bit of my journey.
Thank you so much for sharing, Emily. And Cassandra?
Man, hard to follow those two. But my name is Cassandra Roberts, and I'm also a senior Ruby. Emily said her journey's been slow. Well, I've been with Plexus about 3 years. And I started with Plexus because I was a new mom that was tired and was having digestive issues. And I actually ended up signing up at 2:00 in the morning, while I was nursing my son. Maybe that's TMI, but it was middle of the night. I was like, you know what? I'm exhausted. I'm just doing this right now. And because I needed it. But I was on maternity leave, but I had a job with the #1 retailer in the world in their corporate office. I had a great job to go back to. I was not interested in the business. But then I went back to that job, and I was home with my son that first year, had a year leave of absence for my corporate job, went back to that job, and I was miserable. I cried every day because I missed my little boy. Like, he was my best friend. That seems silly. I don't know if it's harder to leave a baby when they're 3 months old or 1 year old, but it was so hard to leave my 1 year old. And so, but the day that I went back to work, that was the day that I accidentally promoted to gold, because I wasn't really interested in the business. That just kind of accidentally happened at first. And so I went gold, and, didn't want to leave my son. And so I was like, hey, this could really be the answer to my prayers of being able to have an identity outside of mom. Because I think sometimes as a stay-at-home mom, it's hard, because it's who am I other than a mom? Being a mom is such a gift, but I just was struggling with an identity crisis of, I feel like I need to give back. I feel like there's more that I need to do for other people, but I don't know what avenue that is. And so that's whenever I started the business side. I went senior gold at the end of in December. So started in January of 2015, went senior gold at the end of that year. And I was like, okay, well, I can leave work. So I did. I left my corporate job, and then I went Ruby. But then a few months after I went Ruby, I found out I was pregnant. And one of the big things with working is daycare here, y'all, is expensive. It's $1,000 a month per kid. So I was like, well, my why was to be home with my kids. Well, I was doing that. And especially with having 2 kids, the income I was making, I was definitely going to be able to do that. And so I kind of got to a place where it was a lot about me, what I wanted. And I was able to be home, but then a flip switched, and I was like, I'm being so selfish. I have made so much of this be about well, I'm able to be home now. And I was stuck for a long time there at Ruby. But then I realized just how important it is to dive into other people. And in talking to Jake, one of the things, we had a coaching call one time, and he really opened my eyes to the number of people who we're helping, and how much more we can help them whenever we do get them to silver, and how that holds people back. And sorry, you guys, I'm out in my car and it is super hot. I need to turn the air conditioner on or something, because my son has Mother's Day out today. And so I'm having to do this. His teacher's staying late, and I'm having to do this, and I'm burning up. Okay. So anyway, but whenever I realized that I could not do Plexus to stay home, or I could not do Plexus, my why could not be just to stay home, or my why could not just be money. When I realized my why had to be about helping other people, and realizing that if I wouldn't have done Plexus, all these testimonies that wouldn't be there. When I started really realizing other people's testimonies and the difference that I had made in their lives, that changed everything for me, because I'm a red. So I'm very driven and motivated, but I think I may have been pushing people away because they weren't seeing my heart. And because I had this big why of I wanted to be home with my babies, instead of I want to help people, which is really what I wanted to do. So that's just a little about me.
Awesome. Thank you all 3 for sharing all that. I think that really gives a really nice background and insight into all 3 of you and some of the different, struggles that you guys have had. We're all real people, right? We all have different challenges in this business opportunity, right? So thank you for sharing that. I'd love for each of you to expand on really quick, or I'm going to ask you guys a question. I'd love for you guys to expand on it really quick for each of you, for everybody. So we'll just kind of go in the same order again. I'll have each of you answer this, but what would you say is the #1 activity that contributed the most to people going silver during the month that you won?
Okay, I'm just going to go on record. This is Jordan, and say that I hate that question because it is impossible to narrow it down to one thing. I'm going to tell you two things, and I'll make it really fast, I promise. And I could go like forever on the topic of posture. And I'm not talking about holding your shoulders back. I'm talking about the confidence that you exude when you talk about Plexus. I'm talking about your business mind. I am talking about the way that you see this business and the way that you see these products. You cannot breathe belief into people unless you have it yourself. And so the posture in which I talk to people before they even start this business or start the products is very bold. I'm also a red personality. So anyway, I would say your posture when you're talking to these people is very important. This is a relationship business, as we all know. So something that I do when I'm talking to people initially, I am really getting to the bottom of their why. I wrote all this down somewhere. So anyway, I get down to the bottom of their why, and I'm happy and I'm excited and I'm confident and I have a smile and I'm doing a one-on-one call with them. I don't know if y'all do this or not, but I like to schedule one-on-one Zooms with my new ambassadors and get down to the bottom of their why. So anyway, posture. I could talk forever, but I'll shut up on that. And then something that I did specifically for the month of February was I put together a thread of people who I had intentionally, like very genuinely talked to about going silver. And I put them all in a thread and I named it like Silver in February. And I did videos every day. When somebody had a new ambassador, I celebrated them on that feed. When someone made a great post, we were putting in there, hey, y'all go comment. So-and-so had a really great post today. Let me tell you what this thread was not. This thread was not, hey, y'all, how much money have y'all earned this month? Hey, y'all, what do you need from me? That stuff, that's one-on-one. And so that's something really important I always tell my team is that don't forget that one-on-one conversation. Hold their hand when they're going to silver. Three-way chats, constant. One of the biggest fears is just the unknown of, can I do this? Do I know what to say? Eliminate those in the beginning and everything is so much easier. So, okay, that's two. So. Go, Emily.
I was muted. Okay, can you hear me? So we were super fortunate because we won in February, which February was the double incentive month. So I think that in and of itself was a momentum building thing for everybody, right? Like everybody was going to earn $200 if they went silver. So that in and of itself was a beautiful gift for everyone. I think I am more of a yellow-red personality. And so because I was so against Plexus for so long, I noticed that in my first year, I hesitated about the business, like talking about the business, because I didn't want to push people away. I believed in it fully. And I knew that the business was a huge, huge opportunity. And I was all in. But I think I didn't want to burden people. I didn't want to push people away. I didn't want to make people uncomfortable. So I didn't really make the business a priority. And then when I connected with my power partners, Jordan, and then our girl, Joanna Miller, they kind of pushed me in my leadership. So I think that is a big, big thing, is that you need to be connected with people who are going to push you, make you a little uncomfortable, and grow your leadership. And so I noticed that when I connected with them, that helped me become more confident in talking about the business, because I saw you can do it in a tactful way, in a way that does not offend people or push people away. So I think, again, that posture that Jordan was talking about, it is okay to talk about the business because a lot of people need that. And then, of course, momentum. I think anybody that has momentum, ride the heck out of that. I think that we had a really big month in January. But over all of those things, creating community, creating culture has been huge, because most of the people on my team are women, and most of those women are moms, and most moms that I know of feel isolated. They don't have a whole lot of community. They're wiping bums and making dinner, making all sorts of meal, and just talking with their kids. And so I think that it is so important to create that community of women and men supporting one another, pouring into one another, and encouraging one another. So along along with what Jordan is saying, doing three-way messages with those potentials, like doing the heavy lifting for your people, because your people are coming in and you want them to get started right away, right? Like earn as you learn, but they don't know anything. And so you want to do all of the heavy lifting for them. So creating community and helping them step by step by step.
Thank you, Emily. And Cassandra, what about you? What was the number one activity that you think helped contribute?
Yeah, Jordan and Emily, they covered a lot of this, but how Emily talked about like the enrollments the month before was definitely huge going into February, like January being a huge month. Definitely you had more people to go silver in February whenever you have so many join in January. But a big thing is like the verbiage about and doing the heavy lifting. So like verbiage of whenever you're coaching them through their products and asking them what they're experiencing so far, and then letting them know that they don't have to lose 50 pounds to have a testimony that's worth sharing. Like I certainly did not start to lose 50 pounds, but being on the products 3 weeks and already noticing that you have more energy and that you're sleeping better, those are the things that, like for me, a lot of my network moms, those are the things that we moms need. And so when they're telling me that and saying like letting my new ambassador know, like, wow, that is awesome. Do you know how many people could relate to that? Would you be open to me sharing that with some of my friends? Because I have potentials that I'm talking to, and it's been 3 years since I started. So would it be okay with you if I anonymously shared that with some people that I'm talking to? Because I think that they could really relate to that. And then who else do you know that could relate to that? And then it like lets them know, oh, wow, I'm helping you help someone. Like I have friends that I think I can help too. I'm going to do that. And so Jordan talked about this some too, about like online events. So online events have been huge for us and our team. Like Jordan, whenever she had hers, she went silver like that same week. And I just did an event for two of my new ambassadors on Tuesday. And so far they've each added 2 ambassadors. So they're on their road to silver, but doing the heavy lifting for them and like showing them, telling them what an online event is. So maybe I like to put my people in an online event before I do theirs so that they see like what kind of posts I'm going to make, what it's going to be like. But then doing like letting them know, here's some things that you can say to invite people, but making sure that they know that it's all about personal invitations. We do not just go and add every single person on our friends list to an event. If someone adds me to a group or an event without asking me, I'm going to remove myself or I'm not going to want to do business with them. But if someone reaches out to me personally and invites me and tells me that they're getting started on something and they want me to learn more about it, that's going to motivate me more as a potential than just being spammed. So just that importance of personalization, but it's just a great way for third-party validation and then helping them follow up with people after the event. So being in those 3-way chats with them afterwards, of like the girls who attended the event, I told them to follow up, but I also followed up and said like, hey, Lindsay, I know Jordan invited you to this event. What was your biggest takeaway? So I'm helping start that conversation, and then they're able to see what questions I'm asking and helping them like close that deal early on. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Awesome. Thank you. That's a great answer. And I love kind of all 3 of your answers. I mean, what I took from this was that it's really about that one-on-one relationship that you guys are having, and then talking about the business, right? I mean, it seems so simple, but it makes sense, right? If we're not talking about the business, why would people be intrigued? Same thing about the products, right? If we're not talking about the products, why would they be intrigued to try Plexus, right? So I think it makes total sense. Now, I got another question I'd love for each of you to expand upon, and that's what would you say was what's the best tip that you've got for the field in terms of maybe helping someone that wants to work the business overcome like any fear or objections they might have, or helping like a wholesale customer see the opportunity that Plexus can provide for them?
Okay, so when I started sharing about Plexus, I was paying $400 a week in daycare. That is a lot of money. So I had 2 kids in daycare. So for me, when I've had at least one person go silver every single month since I started this business. And truly, it is because I needed my products paid for. So when someone comes to me and says, Jordan, I can't afford that, but I need these products, my answer is always the feel, felt, found method. Tara Castaneda has a really great video. She's my girl. She doesn't know she's my girl, but she's my girl. She has a great video on it. And basically, I feel you. I was the exact same way. I was spending $400 a week in daycare. But what I found was that as soon as I added 3 ambassadors to do this with me, my products were paid for and that burden was lifted off. And so even today, as a Senior Ruby ambassador, that is my mind frame. And that's what I teach my team. This is a genuine gift. And if we are keeping it in our pockets, what are we doing? So that's my biggest tip is just if you don't have that mindset, then you need to work on your own belief, because that's really what drives that genuine relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Jordan said exactly what I would say. I think you have to share your story. And if you don't have a personal story yet, share a story of someone that you know. If you don't know anyone that has a personal story, then connect with your upline and ask them to share a story that they know. I think stories are so important because they're so real. And like I was saying about community, like we have to feel united. We cannot feel alone in this because this is a scary job. You have to feel like you are a part of a team. And so again, just like the overcoming the fear and doing the heavy lifting. I mean, I remember when I did my first post, I literally wanted to vomit. But Tamara said, send me your post. Let me look at it. Let me tweak it a little bit. So I did that. And now I can do that with my people. When I have people who are ready to start sending out messages or creating their list, like I am with them every step of the way because that's who I learned that from Tamara. Pouring my belief in them to them. I think it is so important because this is like an unfamiliar territory for a lot of people. A lot of people have opinions about network marketing. And when you have somebody that you're really afraid to reach out to and they say, no, thanks, you're crazy, that like will destroy you, right? Like that will make you totally doubt. What am I doing? Does everybody hate me? Has everybody unfollowed me on Facebook? Like, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing here? And so I think you have to, as a leader, pour belief into that person. I see this in you. I know that you will be successful with this. Let me tell you about these products and what they have done to me. You've got to be pouring belief about them and about the products into them. Genuinely, you have to hold their hand, do the heavy lifting, walk with them until they're ready to kind of spread their sweet little wings and fly.
And you freak out. So I always like to celebrate when someone gets told no. If someone's like, oh, I got told no, I go to my team page and I'm like, Jordan was told no today, guys. Like, that's so awesome. Like, she reached out and she was told no. Like, how many people have been told no today? And like, celebrate that because I went to convention 2 years ago. I didn't go last year because I had a 5-week-old baby. But when I went 2 years ago and they were like, the only difference between those of you sitting up in the nosebleeds and the people down on the floor is that these people down on the floor have been told no more than you have. And one thing that I really learned in my journey of being stuck at Ruby forever is that people are going to judge you no matter what. If you're successful, people are going to judge you for that. They're going to say like, well, she doesn't have a real job or those are just things people say. But then and you define your own success, but then even if you're not if you don't do network marketing, people as a stay-at-home mom, I heard people say like, oh, you just sit around and do nothing all day. Oh, you work, you don't take care of your kids. Like, no matter what, you feel judged. Even now, I feel like I have the best of both worlds, and I have stay-at-home moms that say like, is staying at home not good enough? Like, is that not enough for you? You had to do something else. And it's like, no matter what, people are gonna judge you. And so you just have to get over that because no matter what, You're not going to be able to make everybody happy, and their opinions aren't going to pay your bills. So that is what like I try to teach people. And like sometimes my redness gets a little too blunt, and I'm just like, just do it. Like, who cares what people think? But then I've also been there where people have judged me no matter what I've done. So helping them get over that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I mean, what I took away from this was that it's just pouring belief into people and again, connecting, building that relationship, finding out what's holding them back and trying to help them overcome that personally. So thank you for sharing. Just a couple more questions, guys, and then we'll let everybody off for the day. Were you guys planning on trying to win the Silver Star trip? Was this something that you had maybe premeditated at the beginning of the month, or is this something that maybe it happened and you were excited? And then also, if you would just share a little bit about the experience that you had while you were at corporate here on the trip.
So I like to say I wasn't going into it thinking, all right, I'm getting 20 of my people together. We're all going silver. Who's ready? This was one of those things where I was reaching out to people, and they were coming to me saying, hey, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to do this. And so I was really, it was very organic. But the motivation and the push and the keeping them accountable. Now that's not organic. That's something you really have to work on. So I was hoping that I would get it. I knew I had a lot of people wanting to go to silver. So when they announced it, I wasn't like completely surprised, but I was really happy. Now the actual trip itself, I don't know if y'all know this. So Cassandra is my upline, who I haven't seen since college. So that's what? 8-10 years, something crazy. Maybe not that long. No, 4 or 5 years. Oh, okay, never mind. And then Emily is my power partner. And so I had never met Emily, even though I talked to her all the time, and I hadn't seen Cassandra in forever, not 10 years, but it's been a little while. And so it was a unique experience for me to just get to see them and hug them and just be with them. Because like Emily said, we can be on an island a lot of the time. And it's so nice to just be with people that are supportive and are part of your community. And our dinner with Alec was the best thing ever. The amount of belief that this poured into my husband was insane. My husband hasn't always been a Plexus lover. He was quite the Plexus hater actually for a while. So the belief that this poured into him and him seeing that all the hours I'm pouring into this and the people I'm talking to, I just saw his eyes light up. He got it. And so that was a really cool experience for me.
So to answer your question about Silver Stars, no, I didn't really even know what the heck Silver Stars was. So it was a total shock. I thought that Lana was just pulling an awful trick on me because I knew that Jordan had won it. And whenever I got her email, I was like, you have got to be joking me. I think I did like a happy dance for a full hour because I didn't even know what it was. So no, I was not going for Silver Stars. It was such a gift, such a blessing. It was all my team. It was such a fun, amazing reward. So I've got 2 girls that are working for it now because it was so amazing. So, everything that Jordan said, my husband's belief really grew. Some of the things that really stood out to me was just the quality of the corporate office. Like everybody there was just joyful. And I don't think it was a show. And I think that goes to show when you pour into people and when you recognize people and when you love people and take care of people, they are going to do a good job. So I think that you could just see that people felt appreciated at corporate, which I loved that. Something that stood out to me personally was at dinner with Alec on our last night. He just was an open book and he said, ask any question. And so I asked him, I said, what are some of the qualities that you have seen in leaders, going ahead of us? Like, what are some qualities that you've seen? And he just named off like being honest, being a people lover, like loving people and caring for people, being genuine, showing your heart. It wasn't like you have to know all about the product. You've got to be so red. You've got to do this. You've got to do this. It was all about your character. And I thought, I can do that. Like, I may not know a whole lot about the products or about health and wellness, but I sure as heck know how to love people and be genuine and care for them. And so that was very encouraging for me that those were the tips that he gave me for some of the top leaders that he has seen come through.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. I went into February and I was pretty I wanted to earn silver stars. I wanted it. I mean, I knew that Senior Ruby was I was maybe going to get it in February, but for sure in March. And so I was running out of chances, and it had been on my bucket list for a really long time. And so I talked to Jordan, and I was like, Jordan, I really think that we have, based on the people who joined last month and the people who are already happy and are getting interested in the business, like, I really think that this is something that we should go for. I mean, not that we were like shoving silver down people's throats, but it was something that we knew that, like, organically, that people were getting happy and that we could do this together. And also, like, as a mom, my daughter just turned a year old last week, but before Silver Stars, me and my husband had been on one date, like, in 11 months. And so I was like, Mama needs a vacation. Like, Mama needs some time with her hubby away. And so it was a really big goal of mine. And before I joined Plexus, I had seen that Jessica Heffley had earned it. And that was one of those things that really piqued my interest with her, in knowing that, okay, she must be doing something right if she earned this trip. And I, like, having come from the corporate world, I, like, wanted to see the corporate office. I wanted to talk to the executives. I wanted to just be there and be immersed in that culture. And boy, did it, like, build my belief so much. I think, like, it's really easy for us on here to tell you guys, like, you can do this, like, and things like that. But for Alec Clark, the president of the company, to tell me, like, I believe in you. Like, I believe that you can do this. And I mean, he knows everything that's going on, and he's such a man of integrity. And, like, we prayed before our meal, you guys. And so that, to me, like, built my belief more than anything. And so I saw a quote recently that was like, dream and pray as if God's in control, but work as if you are. And so it just made me realize, like, God is on my side. I can do the work, but also this company, the executives of this company have our best interest in mind. Like, hearing Alec talk about different opportunities that maybe the business had, but it wasn't what was right for the ambassadors long term and things like that. Like, it may have been great for the home office, but not for us long term and things like that. Like, just knowing that corporate is taking care of us, God is taking care of us, and we just have to do our part and do the work.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cassandra. Thank you so much, Jordan, Emily. This has been an amazing call. You know, I just want to wrap this up really quick with a reminder on how anyone can earn the Silver Star trip. So it's available for anyone that's a Ruby or below. And you earn the trip by having the most silvers in your 1 through 3 from the month prior. And you have to have a level 1 silver developed as well in order for you to earn this trip. So this is a huge testament to them. It should be no shock that there's been a direct correlation with the number of silvers that they've produced and the growth that they've had in their businesses, right? They've all recently rank advanced. They've also shared stories about how maybe they were stuck at a particular rank, and it looks like getting silvers was what really helped them get to that next level, and that stays consistent no matter what rank you are in Plexus. So thank you all for sharing so much. Look for the recording. We're going to post this in the Ambassador community page later. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And just one final challenge for you all this month. I know we've got Joyome that was just released. I know it's super easy for us to get in the habit of talking about products and only sharing that. But I also want to encourage everyone on this call this month to go make a Facebook Live about how the business opportunity has blessed you and your family or helped you get ahead in life, because that's really what's going to inspire and encourage other people to want to do this. And that's how you're going to motivate people to go silver. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you later.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.